Patriotic comrades, regional leaders have just landed in Jamaica to tour hurricane-hit West. But what they'll actually find on the ground and the political shock waves this could trigger, well, by the end of this video, you're going to see why this visit may change Caribbean disaster response forever. Patriotic comrades, so Jamaica just survived a Category 5 monster named Hurricane Melissa. A storm so violent, even the rivers decided to go on a field trip. Montego Bay turned into Venice, but with fewer gondolas and way more frustrated taxpayers. But now something big is happening. A delegation of Caribbean leaders, yes, an actual Avengers style political crossover episode is flying in to assess the damage alongside Prime Minister Andrew Holness. And trust me, that's where the drama begins. What's the one thing you think regional leaders must see first on this tour? Tell us in the comments below. Patriotic comrades, if you're watching this, you're the kind of person who doesn't just consume headlines. You want to understand the real forces shaping the aftermath, the politics, the coordination, the money, and yes, the quiet clashes behind the scenes. Because what's happening today is more than a tour. It's the first act of long recovery story with Caribbean stakes. Which parish do you think needs the most urgent attention right now, and why? Tell us in the comments below. Enter the regional delegation. Patriotic comrades, arriving with Holness are Mia Motley, Dr. Irfan Ali, Gaston Brown, Deacon Mitchell, Carla Barnett, and the IDB president, Ian Golfan, the guy everyone suddenly becomes very polite to because he holds the checkbook. Yes, that's the Inter-American Development Bank president, Ian Golfan. They're heading to St. James, Westmoreland and St Elizabeth. 3 parishes still looking like Hurricane Melissa tried to redecorate them with water, mud, and heartbreak. If you were advising the delegation today, what would be your top priority for Jamaica's recovery? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. What this tour should achieve. Patriotic comrades, here's what today is supposed to accomplish. 1. Assess hurricane crisis. 2. Evaluate infrastructure collapse. 3. Map out long-term recovery. 4. Secure climate resilience funding. 5. And in theory, create a unified Caribbean strategy. But there's a twist. Drop your predictions. Will this visit lead to real action or just another photo op? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. The delegation versus the storm's aftermath. Patriotic comrades, imagine flying into Jamaica expecting a structured, well-paced tour, and instead landing in a landscape where rivers rewrote the map, bridges ghosted entire communities, thousands are displaced, and electricity is basically a sometimes thing. The ground reality is so chaotic that even the delegation itinerary might need its own disaster recovery team. And yes, regional leaders are about to see firsthand what Jamaicans have been shouting for days. The situation is way worse than it looks on TV. But here's where things get really interesting. For those in the West, how bad is the situation on the ground? Share what you've seen, what this visit could change. Patriotic comrades, because this isn't just a tour. This could influence billions in restructure financing, climate adaptation policy, future CARICOM disaster response frameworks, IDB funding for housing and infrastructure, how small islands negotiate for global climate aid, and how future storms, because they will come, are handled. This is the Caribbean testing whether regional unity works when it truly matters. But there's one more layer to this, one nobody's talking about. What's the biggest lesson Jamaica should take from Hurricane Melissa? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. The unsaid political pressure. Patriotic comrades, everyone in this delegation understands something. This tour is not just humanitarian, it's political. Every leader present must balance optics, accountability, regional solidarity, and the expectation of the Jamaican public. If relief is too slow, if funding stalls, if coordination falls apart, it reflects badly on everyone involved, which is why today's tour has the energy of let's all smile for the cameras, while quietly reading each other's disaster management report cards. Which country in the delegation do you think will contribute the strongest support? Put it in the comments below. Patriotic comrades, by now you see the bigger picture. This isn't just regional leaders touring damage. It's the opening chapter of a long and messy recovery fight involving climate change, regional diplomacy, high stakes funding, and entire communities waiting for help. And the biggest question still remains, will this delegation walk away united or divided on what Jamaica truly needs? We'll know soon. Should CARICOM create a permanent rapid response hurricane team? Yes or no? And why? Let's hear it in the comments below. Here's a summary of the highlights and the key points. Quick recap. Category 5 Hurricane Melissa devastated Western Jamaica. Regional leaders plus IDB arrive for high priority tour. Aim: assess crisis plus shape recovery plus negotiate funding. Stakes include housing, infrastructure, climate resilience. The tour carries political pressure and regional implications. Open questions remain on unity, funding, and long-term recovery. The delegation, which includes Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, Guyana President Dr. Irfan Ali, Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown, Grenada's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, the CARICOM Secretary General Carla Barnett, and Inter-American Development Bank IDB President Ian Goldfan are all here to witness the first-hand devastation of the Category 5 wrecking ball known as Hurricane Melissa. Patriotic comrades, you see, all these regional leaders from the other Caribbean countries, them actually they have to take notes. Them say a smart man learn from his own mistakes, but a wise man learn from the mistakes of others. You see, Category 5 hurricanes are actually a rarity in the Caribbean. So when one drop and they see how we shell out parts of Western Jamaica, them have to fly down to come see first hand for themselves, because when you see on the TV and on YouTube and TikTok, it's not the same thing when you're actually there on the ground for yourself. It actually look like one, like they nuke the ground and shell it out completely. So me and Matley them, they have to take notes and go back to Barbados and prep Barbados for your Category 5, which is the smart thing to do. Always prepare for the worst case scenario when you live in our hurricane zone. The worst case scenario should never catch you off guard, you see me, or catch you unprepared. And you are an incompetent government if you're not prepared for the worst case scenario in the eventuality of you getting a hurricane. So when me and Madeline them go back to Barbados, them are gonna make sure say them map out a clearly defined Category 5 disaster preparedness and response team should Barbados ever get a Category 5. And going forward, them will make sure say the building codes change for all of the new buildings that will be erected to withstand the impact of a Category 5 hurricane wind speed, because we get 185 miles per hour wind speed from Hurricane Melissa. And then we find out say our building codes only prepare for wind speed of 155 miles per hour. That is not a Category 5 number. Category 5 starts from 157 miles per hour or higher, and with the under that, so it's like we prepare for Cat 3 or a Category 4. You see, Category 5 winds have the power to lick down or flatten building structures, like the church in a Black River will look like it didn't make out a brick or something like that. That church would have gone through several hurricanes and still standing. But notice when Melissa hit Black River, that church get flattened. That's the power and strength of Category 5 wind speed. So if you live in our house we build out a sheet rock like the house in America, your house will get flattened completely. And we concrete structures in Jamaica, we see how they crack up and get part of it tear down. We are talking about concrete structure from video footage where Melissa do and left. Yeah man, if your concrete structure weak, it will tear down. So Category 5 are not nothing to play with. But we have a government who act like then they call Melissa personally and say, yo, Melissa, here you are coming up. We shouldn't end up coming up, but just only come as a Category 3. You see me? Them act like say, you know? They did reason with Melissa. What kind of leaders do we have with this whole mess administration? Total incompetence. Patriotic comrades, we need to decentralize the over-reliance and the over-dependency on Kingston as the central hub for food distribution. Remember say a Kingston supply the whole island, you know. All goods, all food items, Kingston is the central distribution point to spread and distribute food items across the island. Now what if Kingston did get severely battered and damaged and shelled down? You know what that means, right? Jamaicans would have starved. You see me? And if you don't drink pipe water, you're gonna dead for thirst. If Kingston did get hit So for example, even if Kingston get hit and the rest of island never get damaged, you're still in our major problem because Kingston is the central hub. That is another downfall by the government. We need to decentralize Kingston. We have 3 counties: Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey. Each county supposed to be autonomous and independent with their own food distribution. So that is what I mean when we say we need to decentralize the over-reliance and the over-dependency from Kingston as the focal point of food distribution. Wisynco, they are Kingston. National Bakery, they are Kingston. Grace Kennedy, they are Kingston. You know, get where me I come from now? So Jamaica is not ready. Jamaica not ready for nothing major yet, in a brother. Jamaica not ready. These leaders come from TV, they from parliament, in a media, and when you really assess and just strip down the whole political infrastructure, you realize your leaders actually not do nothing, and then I think it's like them operate without a brain. It's like man only going to politics for personally enriching himself, because you are not governing the country good. You see, you don't get to go in a power as a prime minister and end up come out of power and leave the country worse off than where you see it. No, your job as a 3-term prime minister is to left the country better than how you see it. Even a 1st-term prime minister, your job is to leave the country better than how you get it. You don't get to go in a power and say, oh, whenever me cause a problem, that's what me not fixing. No, and I say it work. And I say you build legacy, and I say you build real legacy. And the wholeness government has failed to actually do what they're supposed to do. No, me don't want to hear no excuse, bro. Oh, the government can't do everything. Yes, I will agree to a certain degree. But when it comes to proactive thinking and long-term futuristic thinking, the wholeness administration is lacking in that department. They act like they're forward thinking. They act like they're futuristic. The only reason why they feel like they're futuristic and they're forward thinking are because them puppet master overseas or tell them, say, oh, bring in needs a digital ID and we want you to establish a digital currency with a digital wallet. And that make them feel like they're forward thinking. And they're sitting there just to enslave the population. They're sitting there to help we needs one your blood type. Meaning, one rich billionaire somewhere in Europe, few people them can access the Jamaican database and realize about John Tam and a rich billionaire have the same blood type. John Tam at 20 years old, young, healthy and fresh. John Tam mysteriously get unalive. You see me? Yeah man, a rich billionaire in Europe have brand new organs because needs wanting your blood type are going equal to organ harvesting, which is a big money making industry. So this is all your government is focused on. To do things where them puppet master tell them to do, not actually running the country how they run it. And I will repeat it again. You should, if you live in a hurricane prone zone, which Jamaica and the Caribbean is, you must prepare for the worst case scenario, which is a category 5, devastating the entire island. And that you're supposed to prepare for. That's a common sense. So now when we see I know the whole island get affected, mostly western parishes, Kingston was unscathed. So when we see the western parishes get mostly the eye of the hurricane, and we see the slow response from the government, we in a problem. Look how quick JPS respond and start get things up and running and start restore electricity to less affected communities. I saw your government for respond quick. Now, Jamaica could possibly be on the brink of maybe one epidemic outbreak where people are talking about cholera. You know why? Because the government responded slow. Probably they still don't respond yet because first of all, every dead animal in the water, they need to come out immediately. And that should have happened the day after Melissa. Melissa dropped it Tuesday. That should have happened the Wednesday. Every and all dead animals must come out of every pool of water. You see, Jamaica has never experienced a real internal, self-created epidemic because of their own or due to their own negligence. They never experienced that before. But if you're a proactive thinker and a common sense thinker and you're in power as the government, you know, say, yo, we have to get them the out of water immediately and get some whole heap of tire and burn all of them, because if you left a dead cow, a dead hog, a dead goat, or even a dead dog in the water, that are going to cause major problems, my friend. Major disease outbreaks, my friend. 2 people already died from lepto. We remember in the 90s when cholera was a thing. And you would have seen the cholera advertisement on TV in Jamaica. Now them talk about it again. Jamaica is not prepared for nothing major or nothing serious. Your government is sleeping. You can't in a power for 3 term. And this is your response. You're obviously a PR photo op government. That's all you are. So now, like how foreigners are come here, you go see the Prime Minister walk with them and I say, yeah man, Ray, he might go someplace where he never go before since the hurricane. Cause remember, you know, I am aware that he flew out once after the hurricane. I did not hear of any second trips. I don't hear about no second, third, fourth or fifth fly outs with the Prime Minister. Me no see no video footage with him. I walk through various communities where severely damaged. First time he fly out, man saying couldn't land at Westmoreland. Immediately after, Marky G land in a Westmoreland, the place where he saying couldn't land. But since then, we no see no more of the Prime Minister walk through parishes and a pass through the severely damaged parishes. If people them want to see them a leader with them vote for, just like how we did see you before election, and you did beg people them to vote for you, and you go everywhere to beg them for them vote, I see them energy we need for you now. And you're lacking in leadership because you not do that. So that tell us say you're not a leader. That tell us say you don't care none at all. Actions speak louder than words. You can't come on camera and say you feel if you people them and you empathize with them. We only see you with the people them when it's convenient for you. And it's a PR photo op moment. And when everything is okay and things normal and a hurricane no happen, we see you a whole babies and sit down on people veranda and a chat to them like you care. You not care, brother. Them think they're just PR photo op. If you found this breakdown useful, insightful, or just enjoy a little political theater mixed with disaster recovery analysis, hit like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next update on this unfolding regional story. And click the videos on the screen to watch next.